NVIDIA is undeniably one of the hottest names these days, and today we will delve into its fourth quarter conference call to see what the management team and investors are focusing on. First and foremost, NVIDIA's data center revenue reached $47.5 billion, more than triple from the previous year. And according to the management, the computing industry has already entered a new era, with the $1 trillion install base of data center infrastructure transitioning rapidly from general purpose to accelerated computing. This shift is driven by the slowdown of Moore's law, coupled with increasing computing demand, leading companies to accelerate workloads for future improvements in three areas: performance, total cost of ownership, and energy efficiency. At the same time, companies are constructing the next generation of modern data centers, or what NVIDIA management calls AI factories, specifically designed for refining raw data to generate valuable intelligence. The data center growth was fueled by both training and inference of generative AI and LLMs, spanning various industries, use cases, and regions. And approximately 40% of data center revenue in the past year was attributed to AI inference particularly. In the fourth quarter, large cloud providers like Amazon, Microsoft, and Google accounted for over half of data center revenue, supporting internal workloads and external public cloud customers. But NVIDIA has many other customers besides these hyperscalers. Exciting companies such as AI21, Character AI, Perplexity, and Runway are actively building platforms to serve enterprises and creators. Also, new AI startups are emerging, focusing on creating LLMs to cater to specific languages, cultures, and customs in various regions worldwide. The past year has witnessed a significant trend of AI adoption by enterprises across various industry verticals, including automotive, healthcare, and financial services. And the management discussed a few of them in detail. The estimated data center revenue contribution from the automotive vertical through the cloud or on-premises surpassed $1 billion last year. NVIDIA Drive Infrastructure Solutions encompass systems and software for autonomous driving development. And almost 80 vehicle manufacturers, spanning global OEMs, new energy vehicles, trucking, robotaxi, and Tier 1 suppliers, utilize NVIDIA's AI infrastructure for training not only large language models, but also other AI models for automated driving and AI cockpit applications. The majority of automotive companies engaged in AI are working with NVIDIA, and as AV algorithms shift to video transformers and more cars integrate cameras, the demand for NVIDIA service is expected to grow significantly. Next, in healthcare, digital biology and generative AI are transforming drug discovery, surgery, medical imaging, and wearable devices. NVIDIA has developed deep domain expertise in healthcare, offering the Clara Healthcare Platform, a generative AI service for developing, customizing, and deploying AI foundation models in drug discovery. And finally, in financial services, customers are also increasingly leveraging AI. Some examples are for trading, risk management, customer service, and fraud detections. For instance, American Express achieved a 6% improvement in fraud detection accuracy using NVIDIA AI. Regarding the data center revenues by geography, they exhibited strong growth across all regions except for China, where revenue declined significantly due to the US government's export control regulations, which was implemented in October. Due to the restriction, NVIDIA cannot sell certain chips to Chinese customers, but the company has started shipping alternatives that do not require a license. China represented a mid-single-digit percentage of data center revenue in Q4, and a similar range is expected in the first quarter. Outside the US and China, sovereign AI has become an additional demand driver, with countries investing in AI infrastructure to support the development of large language models in their own languages and local ecosystems. Next, about AI PC. The Tensor RT for Windows, an open-source library, accelerates inference performance for the latest LLMs, allowing generative AIs to run up to 5 times faster on AI PCs. NVIDIA introduced a new wave of RTX 40 series AI laptops at CES, which is now offered by major OEMs. And these next-generation AI PCs boost generative AI performance by up to 60 times, establishing them as the best-performing AI PC platforms. With over 100 million RTX PCs in the install base and more than 500 AI-enabled PC applications and games, NVIDIA is positioned to fuel the next wave of generative AI applications coming to the PC. As most people know already, NVIDIA's current H100 chips have much more demand than supply. But on top of this, the next generation of product that offers a nearly double inference, called H200, is on track for ramping up, and its initial shipment is planned in the second quarter. In the closing remarks from CEO, Jensen Huang reemphasized that the computer industry is undergoing a platform shift, transitioning data centers from general purpose to accelerated computing. NVIDIA has played a crucial role in enabling this transition, leading to a new computing paradigm known as generative AI. This AI allows softwares to learn, understand, and generate information, ranging from human language to biological structures and the virtual 3D world. This marks the beginning of a new industry where AI-dedicated data centers process raw data to refine them into digital intelligence, similar to AC power generation plants in the last industrial revolution. Then he predicted a doubling of the world's data center infrastructure install base in the next 5 years, representing a significant annual market opportunity in the hundreds of billions. This new AI infrastructure is expected to unlock a plethora of applications that were not possible before. Further updates on NVIDIA's progress and initiatives are anticipated at the upcoming GTC event in March. Now, let's see NVIDIA's strong fourth quarter financial results. In Q4, NVIDIA achieved a record quarterly revenue of $21.1 billion, which is up 22% from the third quarter and 265% growth from a year ago. Breaking this down into 4 business segments, the data center revenue was $18.4 billion, up 27% from previous quarter and up 409% from a year ago. And full-year revenue for this segment rose 217% to a record $47.5 billion. Second, gaming revenue was $2.9 billion, up 56% from a year ago. And full-year revenue for this segment rose 15% to $10.4 billion. Third, Pro Visualization revenue was $463 million, which is up 105% from previous year. And for the full year, this revenue reached $1.6 billion. And fourth, automotive revenue was $281 million. And for the full year, this segment's revenue increased 21% to $1.1 billion. So NVIDIA's revenues are exploding in all 4 segments, and its total revenue for the past year was $60.9 billion, up 126% from a year ago. Breaking down this whole year revenue into 4 geographic areas, US generated $27 billion, which is up 225% year over year. Taiwan was $13 billion, up 92%. China was $10 billion, up 78% from a year ago. And other country revenues were $10 billion, up 73% year over year. Sales to customers outside of the US accounted for 84%, 69%, and 56% for each of the past 3 years. So the dependency on the US market is actually increasing. Also, sales to one customer represented 13% of the total revenue this year. And for your information, no customer represented 10% or more before this year. Full-year R&D expenses were $8.7 billion, up 18% year over year. Because the expenses grew much slowly than the revenue, operating income in the fourth quarter skyrocketed to $13.6 billion, almost 10 times compared to last year. And total operating income for the year stood at $37 billion, with a margin of 61%, and this is up 311% from last year. Net cash provided by operations was $28 billion, up almost 400% year over year, and net cash used in CapEx was just about $1 billion. This is because NVIDIA outsources the manufacturing process to TSMC, and the company spent about $9.5 billion for the buyback last year. As a result, NVIDIA's non-GAAP free cash flow was about $27 billion for the year. And this cash flow growth is eye-catching, but it's still only 1.3% of NVIDIA's bloated market cap. Now, let's move on to the most important moments of the Q&A section. First, with AI being used more widely, a new type of data center has emerged, not merely focused on strong data and general computing, but dedicated to AI generation. And again, NVIDIA referred to this as AI generation factories or AI supercomputers. These data centers take raw data as material, transform it using NVIDIA-built AI supercomputers, and produce valuable tokens. And on top of this major trend, NVIDIA is diversifying into new industries, including GPU-specialized CSPs, enterprise software platforms, and consumer internet services that leverage generative AI for hyper-personalized content creation. Also, the recommender system, responsible for suggesting content on the internet, including news, videos, music, and various products, have undergone a significant transformation. Previously based on CPU approaches, recommender systems recently have migrated to deep learning and generative AI, making GPU acceleration essential at every step of the process. GPU acceleration is now crucial for tasks like embeddings, nearest neighbor search, re-ranking, and generating augmented information in recommender systems. Next, there were many questions regarding NVIDIA's supply chain, and the management said its supply chain is improving across various components. However, despite the improvements, NVIDIA anticipates that demand will still outpace supply throughout this year, especially with the ramp-up of new products like the H200 and Spectrum X. For those who are new to this, Spectrum X is a new AI-optimized networking product for Ethernet, and it's currently in the ramp-up phase. Regarding gross margins, recent 2 quarters very high numbers were anomaly, and from now on, management foresaw mid-70s gross margin, returning to the levels observed before the recent peak. And finally, about the software stacks. Accelerated computing requires different software stacks for various domains, including data processing, machine learning, computer vision, speech, and LLMs. And NVIDIA has hundreds of libraries to support its different applications and domains. Even though generative AI is enabling every enterprise and they adopt to accelerated computing, many still lack large engineering teams needed to maintain and optimize their software stacks for this accelerated computing across various platforms. So, NVIDIA addresses this problem by offering NVIDIA AI Enterprise, by containerizing software stacks into a runtime operating system for AI. NVIDIA charges $4,500 per GPU per year for it, aiming to become the operating system of choice for AI across different clouds, private clouds, and on-premises environments. It has already achieved $1 billion annualized revenue run rate, indicating a strong start with significant growth potential. So it's good to see how NVIDIA is expanding beyond its core AI chips area, although the ultimate result in these ventures are yet to be seen. Now lastly, let's check out what's happening in the Chinese market from the news run. In China, the new H20 AI chips, rather than the H200 we discussed before, will roll out next quarter. And this H20 is designed specifically to comply with US export restriction just for China. However, there were several news reports saying that many Chinese tech firms do not want it. NVIDIA is trying to preserve its 90% market share in China despite the US government regulations. But top Chinese cloud firms like Tencent, Alibaba, and Baidu are expressing preference for homegrown chips over NVIDIA's slower AI chips. This is because these downgraded NVIDIA chips contribute to a narrow performance gap with Chinese chipmakers, making domestic chips like Huawei's Ascend AI chips more attractive and comparable to NVIDIA's A100 in terms of raw computing power. Evidently, this risk of losing grip of the Chinese market is disclosed in NVIDIA's public filing, and Jensen Huang has also admitted this risk as well. Okay, that's it for today's update on NVIDIA, and please hit the like button below and subscribe to the channel if you want to receive updates on these big tech companies. Thanks guys.